Well, Denise, firefighters are concerned about Mayor Hayes' plans to repeal a pay parity ordinance, essentially removing the city's obligation from paying North Little Rock firefighters what firefighters in Little Rock get paid. Now, he's concerned once because he's not sure that the city can afford such a thing. He's also concerned with another city allocating a majority of North Little Rock's budget. In 1981, voters approved the Equal Pay Initiative, but some say it stopped evolving with the city of Little Rock.
Well, pretty equal pay up until the last 3 or 4 years, and that's when we asked for parity, and that's when we were denied it and we filed a lawsuit.
Mayor Pat Hayes tells News 4 that he agrees that the fire department and police department deserve equal pay and benefits, but that the city of North Little Rock does not have the revenue stream that Little Rock does. Firefighters say shrinking pay will mean a shrinking department.
We've had several that we've trained and sent to school, trained, and they have left here and went to Little Rock because of the pay difference.
City Hall also says that a pay parity in essence would mean that a bigger and richer city would be setting a smaller city's payroll budget. Either way, firefighters argue voters already gave it the green light.
Well, we hope the aldermen will go along with what the people voted for and grant us equal pay and benefits with our brother and sister firefighters in Little Rock. I guess we'll see Monday night whether the mayor and aldermen control the city or the voters.
Tomorrow night, firefighters will be meeting to explore what their next options might be, and then on Monday night that meeting will take place here in City Hall. That also might be a time when there is some clarification on what it was that voters actually approved. Was it a one-time deal, or was it a deal that was expected to evolve? So there's still a lot of gray area here, still a lot of defining needs to be going on. Hopefully that will happen next Monday night. Back to you, Denise.
Bob, thank you.
Also new at 10 tonight, an arrest by North Little Rock police may have brought 10 investigations to a close. They believe a man arrested Tuesday has been on a burglary spree. Now, over the past few days, police have been investigating one burglary after another all across the city. Police say Sandy Sanders burglarized as many as 9 businesses and at least 1 home. Police also say Sanders may be connected to a number of burglaries in the county as well. Those cases have been turned over to the Sheriff's Department.
Police arrested a man accused of stealing thousands of dollars by forging checks in White County. A victim of this crime, 72-year-old James Johnson, said he's now broke. He claims a former worker stole checks from him. White County investigators arrested Jim Watkins and charged him with 12 counts felony theft. Watkins is free tonight on $10,000 bond. News 4 learned Little Rock's finance department is the target of 2 independent investigations. The Pulaski County prosecutor would not comment on the investigation, but we learned Larry Jugley is looking into the business dealings of the finance department. The State Securities Commission is also investigating past illegal investments made by the finance director over the last year through Payne Weber.
We're looking at it from the standpoint of what should Payne Weber have known about what the city was to invest in.
So if the prosecutor's investigating, I'm not aware of it. I don't know what his problem is.
Bolt said his records are open for public scrutiny.
Arkansas State Police officials say troopers are making a record number of DWI arrests. In June of last year, troopers made 477 DWI arrests. This past June, that number jumped to 739. DWI arrests increased 55% statewide and 100% in central Arkansas. DUI arrests jumped by 94%. Now, the increase in DWI arrests is the result of a new approach to law enforcement. Officials say troopers are actually issuing speeding motorists warnings rather than tickets in some cases. Now, troopers say this allows them to focus on drunk drivers instead of meeting ticket quotas.
That is done away with now, and we're able to focus on an issue and go a lot more in detail with it.
This is all part of an overall effort to improve performance and obtain national accreditation.
Look for new billboards around the state aimed at cracking down on store clerks who sell alcohol to minors. 55 billboards like this one go up thanks to a grant by the Arkansas Highway and Transportation Department and Donray Outdoor Advertising. The billboards tell you exactly how to report the illegal sale of alcohol. Just call 877-DON'T-SELL.
Workers returned to a Little Rock plant today after an ammonia leak last night. Last night we told you about the leak at the Cisco plant in southwest Little Rock. Fire marshals say workers accidentally broke an ammonia line, sending ammonia throughout the building. 2 workers went to the hospital, but they were treated and released. Firefighters say the ammonia had dissipated by this morning.
The City Board of Directors voted to go ahead and change part of Markham Street to President Clinton Avenue. The change, which takes place the first of the year, leads many to wonder where the name Markham came from. Historians found the name Markham on maps that date back to the early 1800s. One book names the 3 Markham brothers as early settlers. Historian Tom Dillard says we really don't know much more.
I would say that the Markham brothers are the phantoms of early Arkansas history. We know they existed, we know that they were here, but they probably moved on to the west.
Looking at this 1860s picture of Markham in Maine, the name is certainly not the only thing that's changed. Law enforcement constantly changes and improves to make all of us safer. Believe it or not, that includes adding horses to patrol units. Mounted officers can see more from their mount and can handle situations other units cannot. It takes a lot of hard work to get there, though, and this week a special mounted patrol school puts them through a rather tough course.
And there's no air conditioning on the horses whatsoever, and it's hot outside, and it's once again warm tonight. Let's check with meteorologist Michelle Lee for a look at our forecast. Michelle?
Well, Kent, it is most definitely warm out there with numbers in the 70s and 80s. Tonight's forecast calls for warm and muggy conditions with overnight lows in the mid-70s. And then a look ahead to the week-long forecast, not much change. Highs in the mid-90s during the afternoon, widely scattered showers and thunder showers. We'll go into a bit more detail in the full weathercast. Back to you.
Do we need more detail than that? Thank you, Michelle.
What about Tour de France? Do they have to put up with heat over there?
Oh, yeah, the heat and really the last mountain stage today well. So you got to put up with some endurance factors. There's Lance Armstrong proving he's one of the best riders in the world. He can do it with no hands. He is also still in first place, retaining the yellow jersey. His lead was cut by 4 seconds today, but he still has a very large 6-minute, 15-second lead. And there's just 3 stages and a time trial left. We'll see what happens on Sunday when they ride into Paris.
Great.
Thanks, Carl.
If at first you don't succeed, launch again.
Coming up, countdown to a second try for the latest shuttle mission. Then, a new way to worship. You might call it the web of faith.
And next, preserving a piece of Arkansas history that one man calls home. Stay tuned. You're watching News 4, where the news comes first.
News 4, sponsored by Landers and by the Pain Care and Neurology Center.
In the blink of an eye, your life and your priorities can change forever. But is living a life without pain too much to ask? The Pain Care and Neurology Center treats chronic back, joint, and cancer pain, as well as migraines and other neurological disorders. We will design a treatment program for your needs to help you return to work, to play, and to the important things in life. Call 280-3700, the Pain Care and Neurology Center, your return to a normal life.
For years, Mr. Bloom there always went to the same old burger place and got the same old burger. But then he came to Sonic and discovered the Supersonic Cheeseburger. Made fresh with double meat, double cheese, and all the good stuff. And right now, you can get one with our handmade onion rings for only $3.49.
Hi, Katie!
I think we've won him over.
Sonic America, Sonic America.
Stop in today and take a break from the heat with our cool and icy fresh fruit slush.
You're watching Arkansas's News 4, KARK-TV. With Denise Whitaker, Ken Bates, meteorologist Michelle Lee, and sports with Carlton Wing. Now, this is News 4 at 10.
Of the 10 historic sites we're showing you this week in our special report of Arkansas's most endangered, only one can actually still be called home.
Clyde Treece is a retired engineer who has lived most of his 91 years in the Treece home. Kim Miller joins us now to tell us about the quick growth in northwest Arkansas that threatens this home.
That's right, Kent, Denise. Treece Home is a contemporary of another very famous historical building in Fayetteville, the much better known Old Main. Now, the campaign that saved Old Main drew on its place in U of A's history, a place Treece House shares.
Contractor A.M. Burns worked on Old Main in the 1880s. He used leftover lumber to build twin houses for his daughters on Lafayette Street with a view of Old Main on the next hilltop. But the daughters married and never moved in, and the homes remained vacant until the Treece family bought one in 1919. Clyde Treece was in 7th grade.
My mother wanted this place. She wanted all her children to graduate from the university. And they all did. There's 8 of us, and all but one.
You can see the Central United Methodist Church through the trees in Treece's backyard. The church bought the Treece home's twin next door and demolished it for a planned parking lot. The church also owns the other Treece neighbor, Brown's Grocery, once robbed by the infamous Bonnie and Clyde. It's an area with no apparent plan for preservation.
People accuse me sometimes of saying that everything needs to be saved, and I don't feel that way at all. But what is concerning is that there was no thought for anything being saved.
Marinoni uses U of A's Carnell Hall as an example of how Northwest Arkansas has had a difficult time mixing growth with preserving links to the past.
Highways going through and buildings going up, and ordinance came before the city council on the raising and removal of dilapidated structures, saying that they didn't need to give public notice. And that's when I went airborne.
Meanwhile, Clyde Treece says the attention of the endangered list has made him think about the future of his house.
It didn't really make me feel any different until they said it was a historical building and it should be saved. I think it should be saved, if possible.
Now, Treece says he has brothers and sisters out of state, but they haven't shown much interest in this property. Kent, Denise?
Kim?
Thank you, Kim. Another endangered structure is almost out of sight. This chimney is all you can see of the Russie Murray House in Howard County. The bricks of the antebellum home are made of the red clay from the land it was built on in the days when Army troops relocated Native American Indians across the South.
Mr. John Russie had a contract to remove them over there, and he came through this part of Arkansas, and he liked it so well that he came back here in 1851 and bought the land and built a house about that next year.
Preservationists say the house is endangered due to the exposure to the elements and vandals. Tomorrow night, Kim will take us to Brinkley and the boyhood home of Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Louis Jordan.
Can't wait to see that. How do you celebrate one milestone for one of the most celebrated authors of this century? Coming up, a special birthday party for the old man near the sea.
But will Michelle Lee give us something to celebrate weather-wise? Find out next.
Pontiac Summer Challenge. Your Pontiac dealer challenges you to find better incentives, bigger selection, more driving excitement. Now, get unprecedented 0% APR financing on all new 99 Grand Am, Grand Prix, Sunfire, Bonneville, Montana, and V6 Firebird models. Or choose big cash back. $2,500 cash back on Bonneville SE, the unbeatable rate, or big cash back. Now's the time to take the Pontiac Summer Challenge to your local Pontiac dealer.
Here's my idea. Make my boys the Best Buy boys because they've grown up on Best Buy. When he wakes up, it's, do I get computer time? It's amazing what they're learning. They're glued to the computer. They love to watch themselves on TV. They just are fascinated by anything that has a button on it or a dial. Technology is really a part of our daily lives.
Bringing technology home, one family at a time. Best Buy.
Now that's a great idea.
Your Majesty, we've discovered more wood in a nearby house.
Go forth and destroy it. Soon I will rule every house on the block.
That kingdom of termites is out to conquer your home. So call the Terminix professionals at 1-800-TERMINIX for the most advanced termite control systems and the best guarantee in the business.
Wood! I need wood.
Terminix rules the termites. Call 1-800-TERMINIX. No bugs, no hassles.
Start your day with News 4 at sunrise.
A sure way to extend your summer vacation is to lose your return airline ticket, but let's face it, we all have to go home sometime.
That's right. Tomorrow on Sunrise, we'll show you what to do if you actually do lose your ticket, and it doesn't have to cost a fortune.
Plus, what everyone who lives in Arkansas needs to know about Lyme disease. It's tomorrow on News 4 at sunrise.
Your summertime highs and lows remain in the red. Red hot, that is. Details in your 4-1 forecast starting at 5:30 on Sunrise.
And now your forewarned forecast from meteorologist Michelle Lee.
Warm out there this afternoon and even caused a few problems for some people with some shower activity.
Showers, thunder showers, and some thunderstorms that produced some significant rainfall totals in west central Arkansas. Johnson and Pope County picking up around 1 inch to 2 inches in some parts.
Probably good for them.
Good for them, but we missed out totally in Little Rock. Didn't see a drop of the wet stuff. However, we still have a 20% chance for showers and thunder showers taking us through the remainder of the work week. It's the pop and drop afternoon showers and thunder showers that develop from the heating of the day. But a look at forewarned live Doppler radar tells us, yes, the sun is down, the activity is gone. Let's switch our sources, satellite and radar imagery combined. Some significant moisture throughout the afternoon into the early evening coming in off the Gulf of Mexico in the form of showers and thunderstorms into Texas and Louisiana, but none of that moisture actually made it up into Arkansas. Fair skies throughout the evening hours provided for a very lovely sunset, and we have it showing up on our time lapse and the tower cam. Fair skies mean clouds in the mid and high levels, but lots of dry conditions over the capital city. Just a beautiful evening out there, and the night's fairly pleasant. It was a hot one today, yes indeedy. We hit 96 degrees. We climbed up 20 degrees from our sultry morning low of 76. Not record-setting temperatures, but downright dog days of summer-like. Partly cloudy out there right now. It's 82 degrees, but it feels like it's 89. Southerly breezes at about 7 miles an hour. Now, northwestern Arkansas, you're already in the mid-70s, so I wouldn't rule out upper 60s for overnight lows tonight, but the rest of us sticking in the 70s. It's 82 degrees right now in the city, along with Pine Bluff, the Spa City, Searcy, West Memphis, and Batesville. 79 in El Dorado, Texarkana, and then, as mentioned, mid-70s up around Fayetteville. Lows tonight, like I was telling you, in the 70s. I think generally low to mid-70s, so not much relief. It's kind of warm and muggy out there. Notice the moisture that was popping up during the afternoon into the early evening along the Gulf Coast states. It's lost the sunshine, its solar heating mechanism, it's out of there. Monsoonal moisture still flowing up through the mountains of the west. Very little change in your weather picture, folks, over the next couple of days. Persistent area of high pressure keeping us in that southerly flow, pumping in the heat and the humidity. So we don't have any real triggering mechanism coming through like a front lifting to provide widespread rains in the forecast. But with temperatures creeping up into the 90s tomorrow, keep that chance for isolated showers and thunder showers in the forecast. 90s for air temperatures, heat index values above 100 degrees. Fair skies tonight, warm and muggy, a low around 75 degrees with a light breeze from the southwest. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, hot and humid with those pop and drop showers and thunder showers throughout the afternoon into the evening. Highs expected in the mid-90s, little change in that temperature scheme right through the work week and into the weekend. Highs in the mid-90s, lows in the mid-70s. 4-degree guarantee for tomorrow set at 95. Today I said it would be 96, and in fact it was. And our charity is Women and Children First this week. Thanks,
Michelle. Searchers found the wreckage and the bodies. We'll hear the latest on the investigation in a live report.
And we hear from an Arkansan about how this family deals with such a loss. Plus, NASA hopes the second time around ends up the charm as the countdown continues.
And get out your scriptures. It's time to worship the superhighway way.
It's summer here at Russell Chevrolet. You know what that means. Summer price low, summer even lower. Like this 1999 Cavalier with air, automatic, and more, only $160 a month. Or a new S10 truck with 0 down, only $160 a month. And even a popular 99 Silverado extended cab is reduced to $260 a month. So hustle to Russell this summer, because summer's selling fast and summer even faster. Russell Chevrolet, 1.5 miles north of McCain Mall.
At Luby's, whether it's seasoned with Italian herbs, prepared with a French accent, or flavored with Mexican spices, we know chicken the world over. Every day we feature a specially prepared breast of chicken, served with pasta or rice, plus your choice of vegetable, bread and beverage, for $5.99 for a limited time. The Chicken Lover's Special. It's delicious in any language. Luby's, good food from good people.
You going to Fred's party?
Yep, the whole town's going.
His ice cream is so good. How does he make it? I don't know. He won't tell me. You're his daughter.
Everyone wants to know my homemade ice cream recipe, but I can't tell the truth. First, I buy these big eggs. Ostrich eggs.
Where do you get them?
Ostriches. And then I get my vanilla beans flown in from Madagascar.
Come on, Daddy. You're fibbing.
Hey, folks, look at this.
The truth is, Fred's homemade ice cream is Bluebell.
Madagascar, really.
Hi there. Oh, thank you. And here are the keys for your Century test drive.
It's a nice-looking Century, but we're going on vacation.
I'm all packed.
Yeah, it's a nice ride.
Yeah, it's got standard traction control. Your Camry LE doesn't have that, does it, Sally? Huh? You know Century has the highest owner loyalty in its class?
Yeah.
Did not.
Did too.
Did not. Oh, Century's got V6 power standard. And to your left, there's never been a better time to zero in on a Buick with 0% APR GMAC financing or $1,500 cash back on Century.
You know what I like most about this car?
The headroom.
You're watching Arkansas's News 4, where the news comes first.
As we told you earlier, 5 days after the search began, fears were confirmed. Divers located the bodies of John F. Kennedy Jr., his wife, Carolyn, and her sister, Lauren. News 4's Jim Hanchett joins us now live from the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. Jim, now with this discovery, what's next for the investigation?
Kent, over the next couple of days, the searchers will try to raise as much of the plane to the surface as they can. They still have some more pieces to fish out of the bottom of the ocean, and then they will reconstruct the plane, try to figure out what went wrong. It's a process that could well take 6 to 9 months.
Jim, we understand the family of John F. Kennedy Jr. is contemplating burying him at sea as early as tomorrow. Any idea why they are choosing this form of burial?
We don't know for a fact that that's what's going to take place, although they have set in motion what needs to be done in order for that to take place tomorrow morning. This is a family that has loved the sea through many generations. It would only be fitting, I suppose, in this case, to return John Kennedy Jr. to the ocean that took him away from us. We